Hi everybody, I'm going to show you my extraction method today. Because she's a little more sensitive with the lemongrass cleanser, we're using the aloe foamy cleanser right now and the vanilla soda. And you tap a little bit of the vanilla soda out, add a little bit of cleanser, get a tiny bit of water on your fingertips, and then this is how you create an exfoliant from our line. So this is what we use on all of our peoples who are breaking out. And I'm going to ask her to tell me if this scrub feels too spicy anywhere while it's sitting. Just let me know. When I wrap you in a towel, just let me know if this starts feeling stingy. Products are active, so you have to tell people that if they feel a lot of itching, burning, anything like that isn't really normal. A little bit of tingling is normal. Even a tiny bit of stingle, I call it, is normal. That's a sting and a tingle together. So the vanilla soda does feel a little bit tingly when people use it. So if she feels a little bit of a tingle, that's totally okay. And we already pre-cleansed her skin. I didn't cleanse her eyes, but I cleansed the rest of her face. And this is kind of what we do if we're doing just an extraction treatment. We don't use steam. And we cleanse the skin, we put the scrub on, and then we let the towel sit. And you should ask your client, is this too hot or is this temperature okay?
It's okay.
Okay. So always ask that. And you have to let this sit a good couple minutes. All right, so when you cover people's eyes, I take my 4x4, I fold it hot dog like this. I dip it in cold water or put distilled water on it, butterfly it, and then press it on their eyes like this. And then if you're going to do extractions, I recommend getting a pair of tanning goggles. And you kind of bend them out so they're snug on the bridge of the nose and put those on. And okay, so come in really close so you can see, hopefully. All right, so you lift and you take the round part. This is the tool and it has to be this shape. I'll show you another one in a minute that we tried to get the same tool and it was not the same. See how I pumped with the round part of my tool and that popped right out. Keep a little 4x4 for wiping off your tool. You don't want your tool to get really full of what's coming out of these, and then go back onto their skin. So every time I extract one, I wipe it onto my 4x4 and I keep the area really clean. I don't want anything coming from the pores and contaminating the skin, even though you're going to wipe down and put a nice mud mask on. So I went straight to this cheek, but I normally start on the forehead because it closes down really quick. She doesn't have a lot up here. We need to focus on her cheeks mainly. And then you'd kind of check the nose, and then you would go to the cheeks and then the chin. The cheeks and the chin, they tend to stay a little oilier or more moisturized through the service. So whether it's a blackhead or it is an actual little whitehead or pimple, you lift and you might put a tiny bit of extended pressure. I also didn't ask her. You should always tell your client, please let me know if you need a break or if anything feels really painful anywhere, unusually painful. See, those come right out with no damage. So when you're squeezing with your fingers or you're using the old loop method, even something small and simple to get out with this method, you can do a lot more, not necessarily damage if you're doing it right, but you're going to leave them with a lot more redness and swelling And I have tried all 3 methods, and I've used them not just once or twice, but for years at a time. And after I learned this method, I never went back. So these little white guys I'm going after, those are kind of closed whiteheads that are not going to come out. So we want to go for the ones that are ready. And she is going to get on the right home care this week, and then that'll change her skin again. And she will be easier to extract after she's done home care for 2 to 4 weeks or longer. So I don't look through my magnifying lamp. My eyes are really good, but if you don't have good eyes, make sure you have something to enhance your vision. So you need to come, that was a little tiny blackhead, I'm not sure if you could see it, but you need to pump behind the direction the pore goes. So you're gonna lift, find the pore that's clogged, and then pump, pump, pump until it comes out. And my model, I'm not sure. She's new to seeing me, and I'm not sure how many extractions she's had previous to this. There's a little blackhead, so that's gonna come out. Some of what she has going on, since we're really close in here, it's almost like she's got a little sensitivity or something going on to what she's using. It's almost not really rosacea-ish, but almost what's going on. So it's a little less on the acne spectrum than it is. I think she's very sensitive now that I've gotten her makeup off. All right, so after that, so you're gonna make your way all the way around the face. I even check people's ears sometimes. People will get blackheads right in here. This is hard to see. We have to turn you. So this feels weird, but if you just kind of go along that part of the ear, if they have blackheads in there, they're not gonna wanna keep those. And then I wiped my tool really well because I went back to the cheeks. But I think for her to improve, we're gonna need to get her on some really good stuff at home. Okay, this is our Hungarian mud, and this has been the best thing to apply to the extraction sites afterwards, whether somebody's really sensitive or not sensitive. This is going to draw a lot of the histamine and stuff out of the area. I know people use brushes. I typically use my hands, but I'm using a stick usually on these areas because it's disposable, and we're really just kind of spot treating with this mask, and then we put a layer of the aloe mask on top of that. And if you need more for a different area and you have to dip back into your jar, get another stick, get a little bit more, and apply it. And you can apply this with your fingers or a brush, but this is very hard to clean off of anything that you have. Mud is exactly what it's called. You know, mud is mud, and it's very hard to get off the skin and off your tools. So that's what I prefer to do. And then a lot of times I don't have any in here right now. I'll put the cucumber and aloe mask. This is just a real soothing mask, and we use it as a base a lot. We'll put this on top to make sure that the mud doesn't dry out. You kind of want to tap it on a little more than rubbing a lot so that the mud stays thick and doesn't mix too much. You're just kind of sealing in the moisture with the aloe. Then you can take your cold stones and do a little cool down, or oxygen machine if you have one. And if this sits for 5 or 10 minutes, Hungarian mud's like a miracle mud, and it's just so amazing for so many skins. So we can pause for a minute while this sits. Alright, I just took the mud mask off, and I finish with very simple products sometimes after extracting or doing a facial. People's skin is really sensitive, so putting a whole bunch of really active creams and serums on afterwards isn't necessarily a good idea. And since she is getting some breakouts, I think some of this is just sensitivity. We're going to use the hyaluronic, but when I put it on, I'm going to make sure that doesn't feel tingly. It shouldn't. And then I'm going to apply sunscreen, and then she would go off for her day. So something in the masks we used were making her feel pretty tingly, so her skin might also be a little more flushed than it would if the masks were doing a little better for her. So close your eyes for me. So with toner, I get the skin a little bit moist, and then I apply the products. So is this stinging or tingling?
No.
Okay. All right, so that's it. Thank you.